Chair.
All right, welcome everybody to our June Council meeting, and welcome our esteemed gallery over there. We have age and experience, and we have some newcomers to the show. So welcome everybody. We just stand for the statement of acknowledgement, if we could, please. Thank you. Before we start, sorry, I've just jumped ahead of us a little bit here, but before we get to make sure that everyone's got their phones turned off, and that we are live streaming this, and we are now on Council's YouTube site. So once again, good evening everybody, and welcome to the members of Gallery. My name's Graham Milne. I'm the current Mayor of the Buloke Shire and the chairperson for tonight's meeting. It's my pleasure to welcome everybody in person and live streaming to our council meeting tonight. We acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we are meeting and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging, and anybody else that may be joining us online tonight. So thank you very much. As I said, this council meeting is being recorded and live streamed to council's website via YouTube. The recording will also be available as video on demand. Attendees are advised that they will be recorded during this meeting. A reminder that as councillors, we will act in accordance with the Councillor Model Code of Conduct, which will support the principles of leadership and good governance that secure public confidence in the office of councillor. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll introduce our councillors and staff in attendance. We have Councillor Charmaine Delaney from Mount Jeffcott Ward. We have Councillor Alan Getley from Mallee Ward. We have Councillor Bernadette Hogan from Mallee Ward. We have Councillor Bruce Stafford from Lower Avoca Ward, and also Councillor Stephen Barrett from Lower Avoca Ward. I also, ladies and gentlemen, introduce Mr Daniel McLaughlin, Chief Executive Officer of the Executive Management Team. And we also have a number of our staff here tonight. Pardon me, Travis Fitzgibbon, Director of Infrastructure and Delivery. Jenna Allen, Director of Corporate and Organisational Performance. Kelly Burmester, Acting Director of Community Development. And we have Anthony Smith, Acting Manager of Governance. Georgia Brown, Senior Executive Assistant, and Salome Menzies is our Manager of Financial Strategy. So welcome to you all, and thank you for being here. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't received any apologies for tonight. So at this point we'll move on. Confirmation of minutes of previous meetings. Councillors, could I please have a motion for the confirmation of the minutes of the council meetings that were held on the 20th of May 26, commencing at 7 p.m, please.
So moved, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. A seconder for that, please. Councillor Delaney, thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Thank you very much. I declare that carried. Item 4 on tonight's agenda, request for leave of absence. Are there any requests for leave of absence?
Yep.
No, as there are no requests for leave of absence, we'll move into disclosures of conflict of interests. Councillors, do we have any conflict of interest?
No. Yep.
Item 6, questions from the public. Councillors, we have received one question for this evening's meeting. The Chief Executive Officer will read to the meeting the name of the person who has submitted a question and the text of the question. I will then answer the question or nominate a councillor or a member of council to respond to the question. So, Mr CEO.
Thank you, Mayor. We have a question received from Mr Matt McLaughlin of Charlton. Matt's question is, Is the Buloke Shire Council aware of any data centres that are either proposed or planned within the Buloke Shire?
Thank you, Mr CEO. The Council are not aware of any data centres at this point in time that are planned or proposed for the Buloke Shire Council. Additionally, no information has been provided from VicGrid in relation to this matter at all. So, thank you, Mr McLaughlin, for your question. Procedural items, number 7. The first report we have to consider this evening is the governance report, June 2026. Councillors, do I have a motion for this item? Councillor Hogan, thank you.
Okay, so the recommendation for this item, the governance report, is that firstly, Council notes the record of councillor assemblies and meetings held. Secondly, notes the record of councillor briefings at attachment 1 to this report. Number 3, notes the Chief Executive Officer activity report. 4, notes the status of actions report for council resolutions at attachment 2 to this report. And lastly, number 5, notes there were no contracts entered into for this period in accordance with the increased financial delegation provided to the Chief Executive Officer of 1.5 million.
Thank you, Councillor Hogan. Is there a seconder for this motion, please? Councillor Gatley, thank you. Councillor Hogan, would you like to speak further?
This is a procedural matter which I don't think requires any more clarification.
Thank you, Councillor Hogan. Councillor Gatley?
No, I think that all said and done. Thanks, Mayor.
Are there any other councillors like to speak for or against? No, thank you very much. I'll put this to the vote. All those in favour, please.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion is, or that item is carried. Thank you. Item 8, general business. 8.1, policy reports. We have nil of those to consider tonight. 8.2, management reports. We do have a couple of those. So 8.2.1, contract award. Contract 133 of 2025-26, external plant hire panel of suppliers. Councillor, do I have somebody that's prepared to move this, please? Councillor Stafford. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. The motion is that Council 1 awards the panel contract of contract C133 25/26 external plant hire panel of suppliers to those suppliers are listed A through to H. I won't read them out. 2, authorises the Chief Executive Officer to sign the contract documents on behalf of Council. 3, delegate authority to the Chief Executive Officer to approve payments to the contractor for undertaking the works associated with the contract. 4, delegate authority to the Chief Executive Officer to approve all variations under the contract. And 5, notes and declares the attachments to this report as confidential on the grounds that it relates to G2 private commercial information, being information provided by a business, commercial or financial undertaking that, if released, would unreasonably expose the business, commercial or financial undertaking to disadvantage, as described in section 3.1 of the Local Government Act 2020.
Thank you, Councillor Stafford. Do we have somebody to second that motion, please? Councillor Delaney. Thank you. Councillor Stafford, would you like to expand on?
Yeah, only just to say that establishing a panel of qualified suppliers will give Council the flexibility to access the right equipment when it's needed and at agreed rates. And I just also want to thank the staff involved in assessing the submissions and preparing their recommendation. I've done a wonderful job.
Thank you, Councillor Stafford. Councillor Delaney, would you like the opportunity?
No, thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you very much. Any other councillors like to speak on this motion, please?
No.
No, everybody's happy. Thank you all. I will put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Thank you. That item is also carried. And again, it's an important item to get through the system so that our staff have got a range of suppliers that they know that they can call on at set rates or thereabouts to get our work done. And we all know that suppliers are hard to find at times, so to have a panel of suppliers is ideal. So thank you again for that. 8.2.3 Buloke Shire Council Implementation Plan. The status update for the Minister.
Excuse me, Chair,
Or-
we're on 8.2.2.
Oh, did I miss one?
Yep.
All right, you're getting excited.
My apologies, 8.2.2. Planning permit application PA 26005, two-lot subdivision of land, rural dwelling excision, 2196 Ninda, Tariff Road, Ninda. Councillors, do I have somebody to move this item, please? Councillor Getley, thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Motion is that the council, having cause notice of planning application number PA 26005 to be given under the section 52 of the Planning and Environment Act 1987 and or the planning scheme, and having considered all the matters required under section 60 of the Planning and Environment Act 1987, decides to grant a permit under the provisions of clause 35.07-3 of the Buloke Planning Scheme in respect of the land known and described as 2196 Nidra Tariff Road, Nidra, C, Plan Allotment 7, Parish of Buloke, for a two-lot subdivision of the land rural dwelling excision in accordance with the endorsed plans with the application dated the 3rd of February 2026, subject to the following conditions. In the endorsed plans, and Mr Mayor, I won't read all the conditions, but there are all listed there for reading. Thank you.
So that's condition 1 through to 9.
Yep.
That's listed. Thank you, Councillor Getley. Do I have somebody to second that motion, please? Councillor Hogan, thank you very much. Councillor Getley.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. This is one of the more anomalies that we happen in our planning scheme. There's been no objections or anything to this permit. It's just the fact that it's under the minimum 100 hectares in a rural farming zone. And yeah, I wish the applicants well. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Getley. Councillor Hogan, would you like to comment?
I'll just make a couple of comments. This is for dryland farming area, 10 kilometres northwest of Sea Lake. This subdivision is not expected to adversely impact sustainable land management outcome, as there's no change to the existing land use, and there is there will be a significant buffer between the dwelling and the farmland. And as the amount of the excised area is substantially more than the required 2 hectare maximum, there should be no issues there. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hogan. Councillors, if anybody else would like to make any comments on this?
Yes, Mr Mayor. Yes.
Councillor Barrett, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mr Mayor. This, as Councillor Getley alluded to, has been an anomaly in our planning schemes as such, but it's good to see that the councillors are able to make a common sense approach to this, take a common sense approach to this and award this permit. Yeah, common sense prevails for a change, which is very rare these days to have a common sense approach to things.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Any further comments from councillors? If not, I put this to the vote. All those in favour? Also carried. I guess the planning application or the planning report that's been put before us is quite detailed, and we thank our planners and report writers for that. It gives us a good look at what the options are when it differs from our planning scheme. It makes sense to try and keep the numbers of people that live in our shire, and this is one way of doing it. I guess the only risk here is that the right of farming needs to be considered as well, and that's been taken care of in the size of the subdivision and the amount of timber on the property that does allow for a buffer zone. So thank you, councillors, for that. We'll now move on to 8.2.3. The Buloke Shire implementation plan, status update for the Minister for Local Government. Councillors, do I have a motion for this, please?
Is that all right to put a motion, that, Mr Mayor?
Thank you, Councillor Barrett.
That the recommendation is, and I'll just bear with me for a sec, I just got to get my screen back up here a little bit. The recommendation is that council submits the Buloke Shire Council implementation plan status update for the Minister for the Local Government attachment 2 to this report to the Minister for Local Government by 31st of July 2026.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Do I have a seconder, please, for this motion? Councillor Gatley, thank you. Councillor Barrett, would you like to expand on?
Yes, Mr Mayor, as we're all aware, we've inherited a monitor a year or so ago, and we inherited it because of prior behaviours that were reported to the ministers. So I think it was unfairly, and I certainly think it was unfairly that we have a monitor. A lot of times we get things imposed on us, and it's from down there in Spring Street. We get these things imposed on us unfairly, and we as councillors do our best, and I believe this council, the current council, gets along quite well. And the prior, I understand the prior councillors were a bit...
Councillor Barrett, can I remind you to speak to the motion, please?
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's all right. I know you're passionate about this. But
Yeah, I am, and it's for the very reason that the monitor was appointed. We've fulfilled those obligations, I believe, and we are doing our best to address those items as you mentioned. Sorry, Mr. Mayor.
No, you're fine, Councillor Barrett. I just didn't want you to get yourself into any trouble.
Oh, well, I probably
there,
could, but I mean, yeah, not intentionally.
No, I know it's not. But thank you, Councillor Barrett, for that. Councillor Gatley, would you like to comment as well?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, as has been stated, this is a report that we need to send through to the Minister for Local Government to say that we are doing the recommendations in the monitor and moving forward, and this shows that. And again, the staff have a lot of work involved to make sure that this is up to the standard required. So we thank the staff for that, and recommend the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gatley. Are there any other councillors like to speak for or against this motion? Please, it's no. And I think it's well explained there. So we will put the motion to the vote. All those in favour? Thank you. That motion is carried. I guess in comment to Councillor Barrett's passion to speak about this, we were the subject of a monitor. The monitor made recommendations. Whether we think they're fair or not, I guess is not something that we get the opportunity to comment on a lot, but we do have to report on these, and we thank our staff for the hard work that they do to make sure that they comply with this. It's not that we don't have a lot of what it is that we don't have a lot of time to do this. It's not that something that we want extra time to or need extra time to do. So we thank them for that, but we are working our way through, as Councillor Barrett said, to get all these things ticked off and approved, and this is one of those reports that will go a long way to doing that. So we thank everybody for their input into that one. I'll move on to 8.2.4, community grants and sponsorship. Councillor, do I have a motion for this item, please? Councillor Delaney, thank you.
Recommendation that council endorses the officer recommendation to fund the following projects under the 25-26 Sustainability Grants Program. $9,823 to the Birchip Leisure Centre, the project called Cool the View Birchip Leisure Centre, $2,000 Colgoa Development Group Incorporated, project heating and cooling for the hub, and $5,000 for Charlton Camp Draft Club Incorporated, project sustainable tree establishment and water efficiency upgrade camp draft grounds. A great opportunity to have such worthy recipients.
I'll get a second and then you can comment. Thank you,
Certainly.
Councillor Delaney. So do we have a seconder, please, for Councillor Hogan? Thank you. And now we'll come back to you, Councillor Delaney. You can.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Worthy recipients, and great to see that they all complied with the grant guidelines, and definitely look forward to seeing them come to fruition.
Thank you, Councillor Delaney. Councillor Hogan.
I think it's a great initiative of the Birchip Leisure Centre to cool down the viewing room, which can get very warm, as anybody who's been chasing young children around in there at any time in the last 20 years will know. But yes, it's a great initiative. They're going to put a coating on the windows and put some blinds in there, which will definitely make it more amenable to the crowds. And the Colgoa Development Group are using the old bowling club as a great area for keeping local history and inviting the local community and visitors to come and visit and sit down and enjoy a cup of tea, etc. So really great initiative, and hopefully by installing an air conditioner in there, it will make it more comfortable for them. And I think the Charlton Camp Draft Club is a very worthy recipient as well. They'll do a great job to make that area nice, planted with more trees and sustainable for the future. So good job.
Thank you, Councillor Hogan. Are there any speakers, other councillors want to speak for or against this motion, please? If not, thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Again, carried. And may I just comment that three good applications for our sustainability grant, and some clarification was required on this. Council staff were able to do that very quickly to make sure that we had all the information up to date for our decision on this. So, but it is good that our sustainability money goes around different towns and supports different causes within the rules and regulations of handing that money out. So thank you to the applicants, and thank you to the staff for preparing that. 8.3 financial reports. 8.3.1. Just move the screen. Councillors, it is very pleasing that we consider the 26-27 annual budget tonight after much consideration during its development. Before Council considers this item, I call upon Ms Allen to introduce the 26-27 annual budget item, and councillors after that will have a motion to accept. So, Ms Allen, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, councillors, staff and members of the public. This evening it is my privilege as Director of Corporate and Organisational Performance to introduce agenda item 8.3.1, being Council's annual budget for the financial year 2026-27 for your consideration for adoption. The annual budget document before us does not highlight an influx of income or an abundance of major new projects. What it does demonstrate, however, is an understanding and appreciation of Council's role, our service delivery levels in the current environment and the needs of our community. This budget has been developed by you as Council with a genuine intention to not only understand the challenges and opportunities in delivery, but to consciously make the harder financial decisions now so that the benefits can be realised into the future by the Buloke community. The process of developing Council's annual budget has evolved over recent years, and this most recent process has been equally as challenging as it has been rewarding. Council have been given a direction by the Minister for Local Government to report on the progress of the Municipal Monitor's recommendations provided to Council in January 2025. In accordance with this direction, Council have respected the premise in which a cash-neutral budget position is to be maintained for financial sustainability. When appreciating the nature of Council's income and the balancing act to remain compliant under the Local Government Act, simply maintaining a cost-neutral basis or money in, money out leaves little to the imagination when considering the needs of our future generations. Compliance and industry expectations aside, however, Council remain dedicated to understanding intimately the needs and expectations of our community, with the development of a new council plan in 2025, which specifically separates and defines council's role in either delivery, advocacy and/or partnership. This current council group have reframed and clearly articulated to our community council's practical capacity to deliver the services that are important to them. This budget provides a carefully considered direction for the next financial year and the 3 years thereafter in line with our council plan. I take this opportunity to thank the staff across the organisation for their diligent approach to the budget process, including our key drivers of the development of the document, our Manager of Financial Strategy, Salome Menendez, and Coordinator of Financial Strategy, Denise Dillon. Setting a strategic direction that provides clear and consistent leadership within the process must also be commended to the CEO and to the executive team, and I thank them for their support. The council group have dedicated themselves through workshops and briefings to ensure their entire ownership of this document and the direction that it provides. It has been a pleasure to be involved with this group through this process for staff, and I thank you all for the respect and engagement that was shown. Finally, the community are to be commended on their willing participation and feedback through the survey and the public submission process. I am very pleased to present the annual budget for 2026-27 for your consideration for adoption.
Thank you very much, Ms Allen. It is a very important document that we must take our time to put together and bring to council. So, councillors, do I have a motion for this item, please? Councillor Hogan. Thank you.
The recommendation for this item is firstly that council adopts the annual budget for 26-27 financial year as the final adopted annual budget of council for the 26-27 financial year as attached and circulated, with adjustments identified since the release of the draft annual budget, including consequential adjustments to the income statement, balance sheet and all relevant sections of the document as detailed in this report. That council secondly endorses the annual budget 26-27 to be placed on council's website to be viewed and accessed by the public. That council also notes the changes from the draft annual budget 26-27 as a result of submissions considered by council and as outlined within this report. Fourthly, that council authorises the Director of Corporate and Organisational Performance to respond in writing to community budget submissions in accordance with this report. Would you like me to continue reading the rest of these conditions, or you're happy with me to do that?
As printed through you.
Yes.
Mayor, we can,
Yep.
Councillor Hogan can note them as printed from items recommendation 6 through to recommendation 13.
Okay, so you're happy for that to be taken as read?
Yes, we are. Thank you, Councillor Hogan. We're happy with that. Thank you. Yes. There is a fair bit there to still read out, but they are there available for people to have a look at. Can I have a seconder, please, for this motion?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Barrett, thank you very much. Councillor Hogan, would you like to have the opportunity to expand on your motion, please?
I will, yeah. So this budget seeks to maintain council services and planned capital works within the state government's 2.75% rate cap. And we're committed as a group to the ongoing delivery of services to the Buloke Shire community, which this year see a combined operating and capital expenditure of 76.9 million, continued investment in our assets including roads and bridges of 44.5 million, plant and equipment 2.3 million, recreation, leisure and community facilities 1.1 million and others. However, council must continue to highlight the challenge of our underlying deficit. As a council, we don't shy away from our reliance on external funding to renew our huge asset portfolio. This terminology can and has previously created alarm for those who have not heard it used before. Legislation does not allow council to budget for non-recurring income, which is income outside of rates and the totally insufficient federal assistance grants. Council recognises the risk associated in relying on external funding and are acutely aware that it remains unsustainable. However, it's our job to continue to forecast conservatively and advocate to both state and federal government to properly fund us into the future. This means that when we consider our services, projects and capacity to deliver to community, we must weigh up this risk, just as any business may always be aware that a major income source may suddenly become unavailable. This aside, this budget is both responsible and transparent, and we hope that it forms the basis in which Council can establish our best case for future funding change while delivering for our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hogan. Very well said. Councillor Barrett, would you like the opportunity to speak, please?
Yes, Mr Mayor.
Thank you.
As Councillor Hogan pointed out, a lot of work has gone into this budget, and we've tried to be sustainable for the community. Which I also note that although we have to, put up a few charges, as in that budget, we've got to stay. Everything's got to be costed out quite negatively to us, like so we can't owe a nice big bill somewhere. So in that regard, I had a bit of with waste this year. That's gone up, unfortunately, but that's the way it happens. And in this budget, we see an increase in the curbside waste. This charge is calculated on a cost recovery basis, and we've got to do that because that's been legislated to us. Again, we get compliance forced on us sometimes, which is not real good. But anyway, we've got it. We keep on going. There's building pressure on the local government with waste guidelines, including increasing the compliance demands and services which may be imposed on council in future. And to that point, I think we've got some FOGO bins somewhere in the near future as well. So that's another thing. For now, however, whilst these guidelines are not mandatory, it is necessary that we continue to consult with and inform community of our challenges around waste and waste services to help inform our approach in future budgets. Thanks, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Thank you very much. And I guess there's a number of other speakers who would like to speak, so I'll open it up. Who would like to go next? Councillor Delaney, thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. We are pleased to bring through a budget which reflects the needs of the community being addressed. Compliance and local laws has been an area of focus with staff and strategic direction set by the CEO for the operational budget. It is pleasing to see the Dangerous Dogs Compliance Project highlighted as a priority within the budget as an example where Council has actively listened and responded to service delivery needs. We look forward to working with Victoria Police and the RSPCA to ensure the safety of our community and the animals. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councillor Delaney. Other councillors? Councillor Stafford.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Council appreciates the need for effective community consultation through any process of strategic planning, and particularly the development of the likes of the Council's annual budget. Now, whether it be feedback on the budget as a whole or feedback on a specific part of the budget, it all helps inform decision making for Council. So thank you to those who took part in this process. One of our more recent challenges as a Council has been the closure of the Charlton Hall due to routine asbestos audit and its findings. It's generated a lot of discussion amongst the Charlton community, and as councillors we've received and appreciated the community feedback that's been afforded to us. It's noted that this annual budget has allocated a funding reserve to address the issues surrounding the hall and actively consult with the Charlton community in doing so.
Thank you very much, Councillor Stafford. Councillor Getley.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Every effort has been made to balance the competing priorities whilst delivering a responsible and sustainable financial plan for the Shire, and that reflects the needs and the expectations of our communities. However, like many small rural councils and not so small rural councils, we continue to face structural challenges With the limited rate base, our capacity to raise revenue through rates is inherently constrained, yet the demand for our services and our infrastructure does not diminish. In many ways, in many cases, it grows. It's increasingly clear that the local government cannot and should not shoulder these pressures alone. I call on the both state and federal government to act with a matter of urgency to restore the federal assistance grants to a minimum of 1% of total Commonwealth taxation revenue, and putting to an end the ongoing cost shifting that continues to place undue burdens and pressures on councils to make these budgets. I also encourage our community to stay engaged, be part of the conversation. Your feedback and support are vital, whether it's participating in consultations, sharing your views with elected representatives, including us as councillors, or helping us highlight the realities of rural councils face. Together, we can continue to push for a fairer funding arrangement and ensure our community remains strong, resilient and well served, not only today but into the future. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Getley, and well done to councillors for having a comprehensive look at the budget and making comment that is all very relevant. I will reserve my comments. If there's nothing further to be said, I'll put this to the vote. All those in favour of adopting this budget?
No.
Thank you. That's carried unanimous. I guess as a comment from my side of the show, we know that we've had some ongoing issues for 3 or 4 of these budgets. Certainly 4 consecutive budgets in which council has been forced to make provision for an enormous capital works program to repair flood damaged roads and make sure that our network is fit for purpose. For the 4th time, we do so in the hope that the state and federal governments will finally listen to our and provide our community with the funding that we are rightly entitled to. This as I said, goes back 4 budgets and to the first event of the floods in 2022 with other events afterwards. Since the October 22 floods, Buloke Shire has been recovering from 5 separate disaster events. As Mayor and previously as Deputy Mayor during this period, I have witnessed firsthand the tireless and diligent work that our staff have put in, and they need to be commended on that. Advocating for fair and reasonable funding throughout that time, funding that directly reflects the scale of damage sustained and the continued deterioration caused by delayed support. We all know that this is has been a major part of our staff's time going from those times right up to now that they have advocated on behalf of us. So, but look, even as recently as yesterday, we have been advised by federal representatives that the responsibility for resolving this issue lies with the Victorian State Government. We had an opportunity to speak to federal members yesterday. Quite simply, it is time for all levels of government to come together and do what is right for our community. Our community seems to be copping a fair whack from state government in a number of areas that relates to funding shortfalls or no funding at all, and we're just about sick of that, I think. So our residents rely on safe, functional roads, not just for day-to-day travel, but for agriculture, freight, emergency service, economic activity, and all things like school buses and our elderly drivers who need good opportunity to get from A to B. Quite simply, it is time that all levels of government to come together. It's time for them to come together and do what is right for our community. At present, our community could be forgiven for believing that key state government agencies, particularly the Department of Transport and Emergency Management, Victoria, are not prioritising the safety and recovery of our rural road networks. This is something that Buloke Shire deserves better outcomes for, and the prolonged uncertainty and underinvestment just costs our community, particularly our community, and of course the communities of others who pass through. So, which affects all assets of our day-to-day life. We will continue to advocate strongly, but our patience and our community's resilience cannot be taken for granted. It is time for governments to step up, deliver the funding required and partner with us to restore our roads and support our recovery. Now, while that all sounds like I've read it out, I have read some of it out because it's a lot to take in, but it makes no sense that we are still sitting here 4 years down the track waiting for funding that has been systematically reduced in dollars since the first amount of funding, from possibly 77 million to a figure of 56 or thereabouts million, and now to be talking that they're only going to give us 22.5 or thereabouts for that amount of work that needs to be done is just absolute ridiculous, and it's deplorable. So from that point, our budget is taken up with a lot of work that we haven't been funded for, but we need to continually advocate for it and push forward on these departments who at the moment are treating us like third-class citizens. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my comment, and I thank everybody for their comments on the annual budget. It is an important document, and I highlight that there were some changes to the format of putting the budget together this year, while it was brought forward a little bit to allow for more time for consideration of our community's submissions. The way we do it will change again towards the end of the year, whether we'll be starting a lot earlier again and revamping how we do these budgets so community can have the absolute opportunity to comment and be part of what goes on. So I'll leave it there. Thank you. We'll move on to 8.4, organisational reports, which we have nil. So we'll move on to 8.5, reports from councillors. And I will start with Councillor Barrett.
Yeah, just as tabled, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Nothing you want to highlight in there?
No, nothing that sticks out in my mind at this point in time.
I'll just wait for my computer export to get me up to date here, because I've... The mouse has disappeared. So we'll, so Councillor Barrett has provided a report which will be attached. Councillor Hogan.
I have also provided a report which should be in there, but I just wanted to mention a couple of specific events. Firstly, on the 22nd of May, the unveiling of the Birchip Cenotaph refurbishment by the local Birchip RSL, and what a wonderful achievement it was to get it done, and the crowd attracted a good crowd from many that have flown from interstate to see the storyboards of long lost relatives, and which were beautifully presented. There were 4 soldiers who were, well actually there was more than that, but there was 4 storyboards and representing local soldiers who'd fought in World War I, World War II and Vietnam, and it was just a beautiful day. The grounds around at the Birchip Park were beautifully presented by our outdoor staff, whom I'd like to congratulate for all the work that they did for getting it so beautiful. And I particularly mention local RSL members, Shane and Debbie McLaughlin and Nolene Hogan, who have advocated over the last 2 or 3 years to get this project done, and they were, like everybody else, extremely pleased with the result. So that was exceptionally good event. And last week I drove up to Nandaly for the Nandaly annual Biggest Morning Tea, which was with 2 other councillors who also attended, and Councillor Getley and Councillor Barrett. And I'd just like to congratulate Sam and Joe Brady and their family and friends for another great event, very well attended, lovely morning tea, and a very successful fundraiser for a really worthy cause. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hogan, and I concur with your comments about the Birchip RSL precinct. It was a fantastic day and well organised. So, Councillor Delaney.
No comments, thank you, Mr Mayor. Just my report as submitted.
No worries, thank you. Councillor Stafford.
Nothing to add to my submitted report either, Mr Mayor.
Very well. Councillor Gatley.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I too attended the unveiling at Birchip, and I concur with Councillor Hogan's comments, but I also would like to congratulate you, Mr Mayor, for the job that you did on that day. It was very well done, so well done to you. I went to the morning tea at Nandali as well, but there's just one other thing that I would want to highlight. That's a waterway forum I attended online. It was really informative the way that what are we going to see going forward, and how the waterways are going to be vital to not only to wildlife but to collection of water and distribution of water throughout the changing climate. So very well attended meeting online, and quite a bit in it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gatley. I've also submitted a report which is there, and I'll just run through a couple of things, I guess. And we've had a bit of an update on the MAV delegates state conference, which was a number of motions there, and that was sort of a high-level thing, and right throughout the month there was other important meetings and things that we've attended. So all of those are listed there. What I would like to comment on are a couple of things that that aren't in this report that will probably come up in the next report, but they're very valid for just recently. So this morning I had a text message from a Birchip local who absolutely had a very near miss at the Birchip Fiveways intersection, which is now becoming a regular occurrence. There's been a number of accidents there and a number of near misses. So that person has pleaded for Vic Roads to do some work in that intersection to make sure that the signs are big enough to be seen and not behind trees and posts, which is a Vic Roads issue, not ours, but we will certainly advocate on her behalf for this. And again, it's one of these Vic Roads issues that doesn't seem to get attention until something happens. So might be hard on Vic Roads, but I think they've been hard on us. So what's fair's fair. Can I commend the hard rubbish collection that started? And I was heading to Sea Lake today, and a trailer load of mattresses come towards me, and I thought, here's a go. I'll get myself some free bedding. But a great initiative that we've been trying to get back into place for a number of years. It is something that our ratepayers have been squealing out for nearly in every council plan. So it's great that we've got this trial happening, which I got no doubt will work well, and it will flow out to every other town within the Shire. I'm not putting any pressure on anybody, but and that'll have to be in the next financial year. So I hope we carry over some unused money into that budget. But look, that's a great initiative, and we hope that we can expand on that. Another one that I'd like to comment on, and I guess this one's a real good news story. It's the news that was of local Lieutenant Colonel Brendan Allen from Donald, who achieved King's Birthday Honours, receiving the Conspicuous Service Cross Award for his services within the Armed Forces. Brendan's a son of the Leo and the late Faye Allen, who I personally have a lot of time for. Faye was fantastic to me in my CFA days, as was Leo. But these Allen kids perform everywhere they go. They seem to be able to perform, and what Brendan has done in his time in the Armed Forces is really to be noted. And while he's probably not the only one to achieve in the Buloke Shire, or from the Buloke Shire, he's the recent most current. And on behalf of council, I just congratulate him wholeheartedly for what he's done there. So a comment on Councillor Gatley's comment about me doing a good job at the Birchip RSL. I do have a guilt about that day, that in announcing the family members who were going to unveil the plaque, I neglected to get the names of everybody right, and as a result I did not say the names of those people, and I apologise wholeheartedly for that. There was a last minute thing that just didn't get covered off, my fault completely. But the rest of it went well, and I can only speak highly of the way that the day went. And as Councillor Hogan said, the park looked absolutely immaculate. The area was good. It was good to see our staff in attendance on that day, from all levels of staff, right down to the orange shirt. So that was fantastic. But there is still a lot of support for our past war service and the history that it carries. So it was very heartening to see the crowd that was there that day to recognise the work that had been put in, and more so for the honour to the people that were nominated for the board. So congratulations there, and I would also like to thank Mr. Cooper Allen, who tonight came along and interviewed myself and the Deputy Mayor about things to do with Shire, about our budget. It is absolutely fantastic that a young fellow of your age, Coop, has an interest in these sort of things, and to be able to come along and do the job as well as you did is a real credit to you. So well done. We look forward to seeing the results maybe somewhere, and have you back for more of those fantastic interviews. And it probably gives us an idea of being able to spread those interviews around our Shire with different things. But you've set off a tradition that I think will be a fantastic going forward. So thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave that as my report, and just make sure that there's nobody else got anything they want to say on that. So 9 is other businesses, and we have notice of motion here, for which I will vacate the chair and ask Deputy Mayor Hogan to assume the position, and I've got to find my computer. I'll be on hers. All right, thank you. Yep, got it. Yep, thank you.
Okay, we're ready to roll?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so item 9.1.1, the reopening of the Maryborough-Mildura passenger railway line. Councillors, do I have a motion for this item?
Thank you.
Councillor Milne?
I'm happy to move that.
Mayor Milne?
Yep.
Okay, is there a seconder for this?
I'll read the recommendation. So the recommendation that Council formally writes to the Premier, Jacinta Allen, Leader of the Opposition, Jess Wilson, and all relevant members of the Victorian Legislative Assembly and the Victorian Legislative Council in support of the petition to commit to reinstate a public passenger train service to Melbourne in the form of a weekly passenger train shuttle service between Mildura and Maryborough, using the existing tracks to connect with the current passenger train service between Maryborough and Melbourne. Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Could we have a seconder for that motion, please?
Yes.
Okay, Councillor Barrett. Would you like to speak to that motion?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chair. This is a campaign that's been going for a number of years, I guess, through the Rail Alliance, Passenger Rail Alliance, which has been trying to revive this opportunity to have a train run, particularly from Maryborough to Mildura, on a trial basis at least, to look at the need and assess the need. It's gained a fair bit of momentum in recent times, and there is a very dedicated committee of people that are working to push this idea to our state politicians and get it going. It's something that's been now lacking for 30 years, back to the old Kennett government days where the service was axed. We're not 100% sure that everything's going to work out the way we want it, but it's been promised in consecutive budgets that they would look at this time and time again, and nothing has happened. So at least a trial of this and a look at just how it might work is all we're asking through this petition, and that will give us definite numbers and ideas as to whether it's a permanent arrangement or not going forward. So I commend this motion, notice of motion, to our council for adoption. I hope that you see yourselves fit to work with the councillors. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Seconder, Councillor Barrett, would you like to speak?
Thank you. I believe this is a great idea to utilise the existing infrastructure there, and I think it could be complemented with train service too. There, we've just got to get the numbers. So yeah, I support this move.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Do we have any other councillors who oppose the motion who would like to speak? Yes. Do you oppose the motion?
You oppose the motion.
Oh, sorry, no.
No, okay,
Sorry.
so...
I thought you were asking for...
No, that's fine. So now if I'll just call Councillor Stafford to speak in support of the motion.
In support of the motion. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. As Councillor Mills mentioned, the Mallee Corridor has been without a rail service for more than 3 decades. And that's left communities across this area with very limited public transport options. And that isolation affects access to healthcare, education, employment and essential services, particularly for older people and young people and those who can't drive. Now, people living in regional Victoria should not be treated as though reliable public transport is an unreasonable expectation. And I'm very pleased to support Council adding its voice to this campaign and calling on both sides of politics to commit to restoring passenger rail services to the Mallee.
Thank you, Councillor Stafford. Would anybody else like to speak? Councillor? No? Okay, so I'll put that to the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
And that motion is carried. Could I just make a little comment, please, Mr CEO? I actually went on the original as a child. I went to Melbourne via Maryborough on the fruit flyer and 3 o'clock in the morning and with my grandma and arrived in Melbourne for breakfast. It is a great service. I can't see why they ever took it away. And as being a parent who's had to drive uni kids all the way to Swan Hill to catch a train to go to Melbourne to get back to uni, this would be a great asset. So much easier to take them up to the Birchip railway station than it is to drive them all the way to Swan Hill. So let's hope they get this one up. Thank you. Okay, we're moving on to the... Oh, back to... Yes, I will pass back to Mr Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, Councillor Hogan, for taking the chair for that motion. And thank councillors for supporting that notice of motion. It does go with a number of other shires that have adopted a similar stance for this. It's something that we consider very important. So we'll move on to 9.2, questions from councillors. Do we have any questions from councillors for tonight's meeting? No questions? Okay, thank you. We'll move on to 9.3, urgent business. Do we have any urgent business this evening? No. Any other business? 9.4, any other business that you'd like to bring up? No. 9.5, matters which may exclude the public. 9.5, there's a confidential attachment. I'm just reading. Yeah, so, councillors, there are no matters which may exclude the public for... So for council, there are no matters which may exclude the public for council to consider this evening. The confidential attachment appearing in tonight's agenda is in relation to item 8.2.1, the contract award, which has been awarded, contract C133 2005-2006, external plant hire, panel of suppliers, which has been considered by council. So that's been dealt with. Thank you very much. Item 10 is meeting closed. That concludes our meeting for this evening, councillors, and that's at 8:01 p.m. So thank you, councillors, thank you, staff, and thank you, gallery. And thank you to our single-handed digital man, computer man over there, Michael. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes our meeting.